Have you ever pondered upon how much the world has changed in the last decade, and yet our education system has remained largely static, stuck in the past? Welcome. This is a journey into the heart of education, where we'll be comparing and contrasting the new education policy with the old one. In the past, education was often viewed as a one-size-fits-all model. It was a system that placed a heavy emphasis on rote learning and theoretical knowledge. The old policy was built on the premise that every child should walk down the same academic path, regardless of their individual talents or interests. It was a system that often failed to cater to the unique needs of each student. Now let's pivot to the new education policy. It's a breath of fresh air, a paradigm shift from the traditional methods of teaching and learning. The new policy is designed to foster critical thinking and creativity. It encourages experiential learning, where students learn by doing, not just by memorizing. It's a policy that values the uniqueness of each child, recognizing that every student has a different learning style and pace. Moreover, the new education policy places a strong emphasis on vocational education from a young age. It strives to equip students with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in the real world. It's a policy that understands the importance of adaptability in an ever-changing world. So what does this comparison tell us? It shows us that while the old education policy was rooted in tradition, the new policy is forward-thinking. The old policy was rigid, while the new one is flexible. The old policy focused on rote learning, while the new one promotes understanding and critical thinking. To summarize, the key points discussed in this video are as follows. The old education policy was a one-size-fits-all model that relied heavily on rote learning. On the other hand, the new education policy is a flexible system that promotes critical thinking, creativity, and experiential learning. It values the uniqueness of each student, and it emphasizes vocational education from a young age. In conclusion, the new education policy is a step in the right direction. It's a policy that understands the needs of the modern world, and it's a policy that values each student as an individual. It's a policy that, if implemented correctly, has the potential to transform the field of education. So as we move forward, let's hope that this new policy brings about the positive changes that our education system so desperately needs.